Keeper. That's still Michael Pepper with the gloves, I think it is. He replaced James Foster at lunchtime. Essex were just appealing for whatever they could get there. Certainly a big shout for leg before. I'm not sure if Pepper took it on the full or not. And now KL Rahul is just gesturing as if to say, just maybe nip back into him just a little bit. Dinesh Karthik, shorter figure, has moved down the pitch to have a word with his batting partner. But it's just indicative of what's happened today. Essex all day have got the ball to move around slightly. Now Dixon is talking to the umpire.
Dry surface. That's not necessarily the green. I think the greenness is holding the wicket together. It's a dry surface, so that probably moved off the dry surface, not the green grass.
2 slips go down as Dixon, 30 on his back, in now to Rahul, who's outside edging towards third man for 4. Half a bat really from KL Rahul. Length delivery that he tried to drive on the up, and in the end, rather than going through with the stroke, he just opened the face, it went to the vacant third man boundary. The score moves on to 213 for 5, Rahul has 41.
It was safe because it went down to an area where there is no fielders, but I can't say he was totally in control.
Field's going to change now. Essex are going to employ a third man. They've just brought deep square leg up into the ring. So whereas before they were operating with a mid-wicket and a deep square leg, now employed the third man. So mid-off cover point, third man, 2 slips, long leg, mid-wicket, and the mid-on. Dixon just trots towards a white bowling mark. Then he charges in towards Rahul, and that's a straight delivery that the right-hander defends.
Heavy bowling action, isn't he, compared to some? He's an Australian from Herald's from Western Australia, Perth. He came over at the same time as Matt Quinn and joined forces at Essex. Didn't get a regular game in the Western Australia side. Has come over here and secured a contract. Probably an Australian that suffers with a lack of confidence. I know that's hard to believe, but he's quite a shy man, Matt Dixon. He's been on loan up in Durham.
Short sleeves, Dixon, in the hot weather, and he's in now. That's a slightly floaty fuller ball that Rahul jams down on. The ball goes up to mid-off. Umpires just signal to each other that there are 2 deliveries remaining in the over. Tom Wesley, the Essex captain for this game, is at mid-on, clapping his hands. And this is probably about the hottest part of the day, I'd say, at the moment. I don't think I've felt much warmer than this at the moment. There's no breeze coming in through the window at the moment. The trees in the distance are still. Sunshine is not being tamed at all.
We pray for weather like this, don't we?
Dixon, dark-haired, in again to Rahul, who leaves outside the off stump.
And for those, I was saying to Paul earlier, for those who have never travelled abroad or played in Australia or South Africa, it's like this most days. You wake up, you know you're going to play, and it's a totally different sort of philosophy and thought process.
It's funny because I was talking to some of the media management side of the India team, and they were saying that they've struggled with how warm it's been because they came to England and they thought actually it'd be quite cool, we could get away from the heat of India. Dixon bowls once more, and again Rahul leaves the ball alone. Maybe they just threatens to come back towards KL Rahul's off stump, but safe enough. Good leave. India 213 for 5, KL Rahul 41, Dinesh Karthik 27. And the India team staff, they were saying, well, look, we are used to this sort of heat. That's fine. But actually, we wanted to come to England to get away from Indian style heat, and instead, that's all we've had for the past 4 to 6 weeks. And they said that they're getting no respite either. Most of the 5 test matches, well, none of them are further north than Birmingham and Nottingham. Nottingham probably slightly further north. My geography's terrible.
Yeah, I think you're right. Nottingham is just slightly north.
And they're going to have 2 test matches in London, 1 in Southampton. And with the weather likely to stay like this for the next few weeks, they said there's going to be no escape.
Dry, abrasive wickets with a bit of heat. Sounds like playing in India.
Beat to Karthik. It's a big drive from Dinesh Karthik, who's disappointed with himself. That could have so easily resulted in an edge nestling in the gloves of Michael Pepper. As it is, Karthik remains just admonishing himself.
I know he has played some first team cricket elsewhere, Michael Pepper, but this is the first time we've seen him officially with gloves on in a first team game. I think he heralds from Cambridgeshire.
And he's going to be...
I think he does.
Is he officially Adam Wheater's understudy at the moment, or is that still...
I think he's number 3, to be honest.
Beard bowls once more. Short and cut for 4 by Kartik. Loose ball from Aaron Beard and given the treatment by Dinesh Kartik, who rocks back for a cut shot that rattled into the boundary rope before the fielders could move. 217 for 5. Dinesh Kartik onto 31.
Like all bowlers, Beard won't have watched it go to the boundary. As soon as he released it, he knew it was a moose. It was gift wrapped with Christmas paper, wishing him a happy Christmas as he smashed it to the boundary. You walk back thinking, now why did I bowl that ball? How did I bowl that ball? Was it concentration? Did you fall over at the crease? Did you get your action wrong? Did you try too hard? Was it an effort ball? But you curse yourself as a bowler as you get back to your mark.
Beard tries once more. Blonde, scooting run up, and Kartik angles this one down to third man. He and KL Rahul, well, they're almost walking that single. 218 for 5. There's just mercifully that tiniest hint of breeze now coming in through the commentary box window.
We've got our fan on at the back, haven't we?
Yeah, an electric fan. It's not someone who likes us a lot.
No,
that sort of fan.
absolutely, yes. That could be your only fan.
Yeah, that and my mum. At the far end of the ground, Aaron Beard is just at the end of his run-up. That's the only place, I think, the shade at the moment. There's a tree just over where long off would be, and there's some very sensible spectators sitting in the shadow of that tree. Behind Beard, as he bowls to KL Rahul, he dabs into the offside, very well-judged single. The ball's barely gone another width of a pitch away, but Dinesh Kartik very quickly called KL Rahul through for a one-day style single. 219 for 5. Rahul has 42.
I was just looking online at one of the media sites that we sort of affiliate ourselves with. In fact, it's the BBC website, and just looking at the list of the Essex players in India, because normally we're used to seeing 11 people. And, when you look at it, you've got Essex on the left with their 13, but India on the right with 18.
Beard into Kartik, who angles once more to third man, so another comfortable single, 220 for 5. So that's 31 players potentially involved in the game, almost 3 teams worth.
Well, I was looking at the names from the India 18, which they're involving all players. Now, I was saying to Paul much earlier today, so when we see Essex getting India 260 for 8, we'll have another batter coming out.
Probably almost certainly.
And I was looking at some of the other batsmen. You've got people like somebody who admire, Karan Nair, who in Chennai, a winter before last, got 300.
Beard bowls to Rahul. That's on the hip. Rahul turns it into the vacant square leg area. The over ends with a single taken. India onto 221 for 5. KL Rahul has 43 and Dinesh Kartik has 33. You mentioned the BBC Sport website. If you head there at the moment, you can vote for England's greatest test match. There was a short list of 15. England set to play their 1000th test match at Edgbaston.
That's right.
Next Wednesday. The results will be revealed on the Tuffers and Vaughan show on BBC Radio 5 Live on Monday evening.
Are you allowed to advertise your greatest test match?
What, the one that I think? It's not an election, is it? I suppose I can... As I was talking earlier on to Anchor, though, I said one of my favourites is the victory in Karachi in 2000.
Nasser and Thorpe in the dark.
England won in the dark.
Were you there?
I wasn't there, no. I
watched it on TV.
15 years old.
Really?
I was.
Gosh, you've had a hard paper round.
Dixon in, outside the off stump for KL Rahul. Rahul leaves it alone. So the results of that vote will be announced on the Tuffers and Vaughan show on Monday evening. Tomorrow, the England squad for the first test match is announced around about midday. You'll be able to hear full coverage of that across the BBC. And then even before then, there's more cricket this evening on 5 Live Sports Extra from the KSL as the Southern Vipers take on the Loughborough Lightning. Full commentary on Sports Extra until around 8 o'clock when they Women's Hockey World Cup takes over, England versus the USA, and the cricket will continue.
They call that field hockey, don't they, over there?
Indeed. Dixon in once more. Rahul driving, beaten on the inside edge, I believe, there. Like Dixon had just moved the ball back into the right-handed KL Rahul. And Dixon even gave Rahul a stare for his trouble for having the temerity to play and miss.
Yeah, I don't think he was being rude. Matt Dixon's quite a shy man. Did all right for Durham when he went on loan. Wasn't getting a regular game, so Anthony McGrath and John Lewis, a former Essex cricketer, who John Lewis, not to be mixed up with the other bowling John Lewis, who's associated with Gloucester and Sussex, and now with the England under-19s. But the John Lewis at Durham is the former little batsman who used to fill bat pad for Essex over the course of his career before moving to Durham.
Rahul raises his bat and the ball from Dixon just jams into the right forearm, in fact. It hit Rahul on the arm. It sort of spat at him off the pitch and run to first slip. Rahul is in a little bit of discomfort. He's going to have a little chat with Dinesh Karthik. There's no arm guard on either of Rahul's arms. That wouldn't have mattered, actually, because it actually hit him on the back arm. So any protection that Rahul would have had would have been on the front arm. He's now inspecting his right elbow like someone who's just been... If you ever jar your funny bone, it really hurts. That's what he's inspecting at the moment. Score remains 221 for 5. Dixon waits at the end of his run while Rahul composes himself. Rahul spins his bat a la Alex Stewart and then taps it twice. He now raises it. Sun reflects off the stickers and Rahul defends. A length ball is a misfield at point. Should not have been a run, but instead it's a single taken. That was Aaron Nijar at point, who's just dived over the ball, given KL Rahul a single. In fact, he's got KL Rahul out of dodge there, because Dixon was just working him over slightly.
He's bowled well, is it, actually?
Instead, the score moves on to 2-2-2 for 5. Rahul has 44. He has bowled nicely since the resumption, Matt Dixon.
That would have been infuriating for most bowlers, because it's not as if it bobbled in the old ends. There are a lot of old ends here at Chelmsford. There aren't many fresh wickets left on the entire square, to be honest, because of first team, one day, white ball, county championship, and second team, the amount of wickets used.
Dixon to Karthik, that's on the pads, and Karthik calmly turns the ball to the mid-wicket fielder, who then hurls it to Michael Pepper. Don's counting. You're making sure they've got 11 out there, Don?
No, I'm actually counting how many fresh wickets left. I think there's 3 on the entire square.
And how many? Are there many championship matches to be played here?
Yeah. Well, I can't think of the fixtures at the moment, but yes, there's still some T20 and championship cricket. Yes. 3 strips. I'll count up how many we got everywhere.
Dixon into Karthik. Defends solidly. That ends the over. India 222 for 5. KL Rahul 44. Dinesh Karthik 33. Don Topley is going to pick up commentary and he's going to be joined by Anchor Desai.
I think there are 26 strips across the square from the pavilion through to the flats. 26, and I think there are 3 strips that are still to be used. And they are at different parts of the square. The netting area has been well used. They start to get those ready in January because they start practicing probably in late February, early March, before there's the traditional and annual pre-season tour somewhere. Essex went to Barbados as county champions this year. Previously they've been to Dubai. They've also been out to Barbados previously a few years ago. And it's going to be Aaron Beard on his way in with 2 slips. In, he bowls nice and straight, played by KL Rahul, back to the bowler on his follow-through dot ball. Good afternoon.
Right, good afternoon, Don.
And we've got Ankar with us, we've got Cheetham with us, we've got Stefan Schmelt and also Paul Newton. So a star-studded attack of 5 BBC commentators off their long run. Is that fair?
Sort of, yeah, wobbly run for me.
Are you a spin bowler or a seamer?
Tried to spin, tried to seam, didn't do either anywhere.
Oh, well bowled by Beard. Bowled short. It's got an outside edge. It's simply been played with an open-faced bat off the back foot, and I'm going to say that's a moral victory for Aaron Beard as the ball from KL Rahul's bat goes down to the Tom Pearce stand at third man. That is a well bowled but a fortuitous four for India. Score moves to 226 for 5.
It's one of those shots, again, just played with soft hands quite late, so they got away with it, I suppose. But I do like how Essex have stuck to their task and bowled in these conditions today. The likes of Beard, Quinn, who've had a couple of major injuries, like you were telling me earlier. I'm impressed with them, and obviously Matt Coles as well, the stint he's put in today under these conditions. I think they can be very proud of how they performed against this star-studded Indian lineup, as they like to call themselves.
And they will share the overs around, I'm sure. Beard on his way in then. 2 slips still. This is a little bit leg side where Rahul takes a single into the square leg, looks for 2, but they won't get it. Good bit of fielding this time by Nijar, and there is just a single to Rahul. He's on 49. Kartik to face 33. Score 227 for 5.
Quite like the depth that a team like Essex have had as well, back-to-back titles over the last couple of years. So obviously a county with pedigree and decent depth and options as well. And yeah, I like it when a lad like Varun Chopra also comes back to his old club as well. Been at Warwickshire for a few years, comes back and
Well, Wheater was the same. Came back from Hampshire as Beard is in down the leg side. This is going to be 4. It's gone fine. Not Foster, is it? It's forgotten his name now. Pepper has had no chance of stopping that, and the ball's gone fine to fine leg for 4. 235 for 5. Kartik moves to 41, I think it is.
Yeah, hasn't updated yet, but yeah, it'll be 41.
Kartik, who was a IPL captain this year, wasn't he?
Yep, he was, for the Kolkata Knight Riders. He replaced Gautam Gambhir. It's quite a bold move, really, because Gambhir's been a fixture of that Kolkata side. He's led them to a couple of titles as well, but it was very much the time for a change because they're seemingly losing their way over the last couple of editions.
In he comes Beard down the hill, bowls, nice and a little straighter, but played with an open face back down to third man. That's an easy single. One more to Kartik, who moves to, he moves to 38 actually. I think we called that 4 runs for him a little early.
Yeah. And I think another word about Kartik, he put himself under an intense fitness regime over the last 18 months to 2 years, which has seen him get back into the Indian side. And he felt like his career was meandering a little bit. He didn't get picked up by an IPL side a couple of seasons ago, and off the back of that, he dedicated himself by actually just staying on a friend's sofa for good few months in Mumbai. I'll tell you about that in just a second.
Beard in, outside off stump through to the keeper. End of the over, the 61st over of this encounter. Score 232 for 5.
Yeah, he went back to basics, started staying with an old mentor of his, put himself through a different fitness regime, changed his diet, started having numerous net sessions over in Mumbai, and really worked hard to get himself back into this Indian side. And at the moment, he's now going to be the first choice keeper in the Test side. Ridwan Shah has picked up a bit of a shoulder injury. He's been told not to pick up a bat for a couple of months.
Has he?
And so he's out of the frame for the time being. And Kartik, who got himself back in through the limited over setup, played a really good knock in a T20 tournament recently against Bangladesh. It was like an Asia Cup Trophy final they played. It was a tri-series tournament. He was exceptional in that. He came in with about 25 needed off 2 overs, right at the end to win it, hit a 6 off the final ball. So he's worked himself back into that format, and then again worked even harder in his domestic 4-day game, and he's got himself back into the Test side. So real endeavour shown by someone who's quite an experienced cricketer.
I'm trying to think, when I was out in the India series, I took a group out there, and I'm trying to think, was it Parthiv Patel hit wicket?
Yeah. Parthiv Patel.
Little fellow. I mean, Kartik is quite small, so those small guys are quite awkward to bowl at. Dixon bowls a decent delivery, which hits the splice of the bat of, actually it might have hit his glove as Kartik comes forward and plays off the front foot. Good delivery, high on the splice of the bat.
Yeah, diminutive, you're right. Parthiv Patel was just the same. He actually opened the batting against South Africa in the previous tour they spent there just a couple of months ago. But again, that just goes to show that they're slightly unsettled in their choices at the moment, because Saha didn't play in one game, so they put Parthiv Patel in. They moved into the top of the order, shuffled KL Rahul down from opening to number 3, dropped Shikhar Dhawan. So they're still trying to work out what fits them best.
Dixon's in, outside off stump, well left through to the keeper, dot ball. And it's a big set of boots to follow, isn't it?
Yeah,
MS Dhoni?
fairly large, right?
Whew.
I suppose with Dhoni, there's a massive aura about him as well. He's a World Cup winning captain. He's a T20 World winning captain as well. In the Test game, he was sort of, after Adam Gilchrist, he was that next sort of generation of batsmen to keep playing in an aggressive manner in Test match cricket. He's won it all, hasn't he, really?
Not just an all-rounder, a top all-rounder.
Exactly, yeah, you're spot on there.
Dixon on his way in, bowls. No, it's a decent ball. That's a Jaffa that's swung, gone up the hill, pitched it up. Big drive from Kartik, playing miss through to the keeper. And it's a dot ball. That was a wicket-taking ball.
That was a massive sigh of the shoulders at the end of his follow-through. He's just, oh, gosh, I can't believe I've not got him there.
Absolutely. That was a wonderful drop of the ball. Close to a similar ball to that of Paul Walter earlier to get rid of Murali Vijay. That was the Jaffa of the day, and probably that was close to being, or comes close second. Gone up the hill, up the slope there. In he comes again. Can he repeat it? Same length, driven off the middle of the bat out to mid-off. No run. Score remains 232 for 5.
Next cab off the rank, if we're talking about wicket keepers, I mean, like you said, Dhoni, massive shoes to fill in so many contexts as well. Like you said, top all round, he was a leader. He was, he sort of changed the philosophy of Indian cricketers as well. And you've got players now like Dinesh Karthik and Parthiv Patel, Ridwan Saha. They're there for the short term, maybe you could say medium term, but there's a guy called Rishabh Pant. They reckon he could be next in line, and he's an exciting cricketer. So he's definitely one to watch.
I've seen him in the IPL a little bit. This time outside off stump through to the keeper. Just manages to make it to the keeper, short of a length.
We mentioned on air earlier, he's got a first-class triple century to his name, so he's shown he can bat for time. And there's another guy called Ishan Kishan who played for the Mumbai Indians as well.
Don't know that one.
He's a talented kid as well. Again, aggressive, really attacks the ball. So they've got a few they can obviously nurture into all formats of cricket, basically. But
tell me, Bumrah is fit?
Not for the first test. Second test, they're hoping he'll be back for. Picked up an injury in Ireland, a thumb injury. Yeah.
In he comes, short, just through to the keeper. Didn't bounce as much, that delivery, which hands on the head for Matt Dixon. He's bowled well since tea, 232 for 5.
Might get a run out in this game. They get a few overs in this game, considering it's a bit of a friendly now.
Everyone will get a few overs.
Everyone, maybe even Shastri might put his whites back on as well. You never know.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Big Ravi.
Oh, I forgot about him.
You might come across him back in the day.
I remember him captaining India under 19.
Wow. Okay.
All right. I remember him travelling with the Indian under 19s and going. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
To the Coleman's Mustard ground in Norwich, in Norfolk. They played a game up there.
Brilliant.
When Ravi Shastri was captain of India under 19s.
Wow.
He did look young those days. Gosh, that would have been about 1979, 1980.
Wow. Did he still have that cash then as well?
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, it was a bit more bum fluff in those days. Aaron Beard's in, bowls, and this is driven out into the offside. Well fielded by Nick Brown at cover. That was brilliant. He saves himself 4 runs and going to get the ball. That was a cracking delivery, almost half volley, but diving did the big man, Nick Brown.
And he got a great one-handed, left-handed grab onto that, and low down as well. So yeah, excellent fielding.
He's a big chap, you know.
He is a big chap. So to get from that height down there, he's done ever so well. And he made it look very easy.
He's got
buckets
as hands.
Yeah. Very, very useful when you're playing against
Beard
flying at you.
I don't think he's going to bowl it quite as full. He doesn't. This time he's played with an open-faced bat. That is very well played. And there we go. There is the applause for yet another half-century to KL Rahul. He's got 50 in 77 balls, and you can hear the applause.
So he's put himself in pole position for that opening spot. I think Murali Vijay is going to be definitely opening, and I think the man I'd play alongside him is probably KL Rahul at the moment.
I can remember was it 199 in Chennai?
Yeah.
I was there.
Were you? Yeah.
And then,
it was one of his first test innings, that was.
And then we saw that, but then we saw Karen Neer get 300.
300, yeah. And he can't get into the...
Liam Dawson's only test match. As this time it's driven into the offside, and once again, Nick Brown, you can't get past him. This time he's gone to his left, where previously he went to his right, and his big bucket hand stops in a certain four. Now that will give the bowlers confidence. Well fielded, Nick Brown.
That's one of the loudest cheers of the day as well from the gallery over there as well, which rightly so, because in these conditions, if you're keeping your concentration and your agility that high, I think that's brilliant. And like you say, yeah, it gives the bowler all sorts of bang of confidence. You must have loved that. You had fielders in your perimeter, Dom, when you were charging in. You'd love that.
You run up and bowl a lesser ball, and some bloke saves it going for four. Brilliant. Beard in. This time he can't because he has bowled a moose. This time it is a poor delivery, and this time Nick Brown dives to his left, but he can't stop it. Someone else has to retrieve it. That was a short ball. It was a poor ball, and has been dispatched for four.
I think by that the quality of that ball was so low. I think that's why Nick Brown couldn't get near it, because the bounce beat him. All ends up there really in terms of when the ball was coming to him. So Nick Brown, bless him, he was excellent from previous two deliveries, but by that one it was
he's dived 3 times now. He's probably gained 3 grass burns, and his hips and his knees are now sore under his white trousers. Beard bowls. This is played into the offside. There is no run. That's a much, much better delivery from Aaron Beard. Kartik 42. Rahul 50, score 237 for 5.
Got to see a triple century. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. And
dropped, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah, he was actually. And,
he was.
And since then, he's not really pulled up many trees since. Which goes to show you've got a guy who's got a triple hundred who can't get into the Indian side, and they've got so much depth. I think they often, the embarrassment of riches can be hard to figure out sometimes.
Aaron Beard on his way down the slope, bowls played into the offside, off the back foot, down by backward point. There's going to be just the one, as there is. We can't see him. There is a third man in place beneath the Tom Pearce stand, and there is 1 run for the end of the over, and the score is 238 for 5. Chennai. I was at that test match, as I said, and what I remember, there were 4 things I remember. The first one was K.L. Rahul, 199. Yeah. Karen Nair, 300. I also remember that stadium. There were 3 beautiful stands. It was a packed house, but we weren't allowed to use the stands. The council, the municipal borough, prevented people using these new stands. They're famous at Chennai.
Right.
Because at the time, they're steep.
Yeah.
But so we had these empty stands, but the whole place was rocking. Wow. But we had these 3 empty stands, all painted in yellow. Because I just remember the Chennai Super Kings were in yellow. And the last thing I remember, of all the places I toured around India, the Chennai ground had the best vegetable samosas.
I thought you had a few earlier, actually.
It's going to be Dixon. Dixon's driven down the ground by Dinesh Kartik, and it's gone to mid-off for no run.
So you had some on your plate earlier?
I did, yes.
Disappeared, I suppose, no time.
Yeah, I am partial to the vegetable samosa.
Come over to my mum's gaff sometime.
Oh, really? Where's that?
Yeah. In Luton.
In Luton?
Grew up in Luton, but I live in Watford now.
Well, you mentioned NASA earlier.
Yeah.
And we used to play our outground at one of them was at Ilford.
Oh, yes.
And NASA's mum...
I bet.
And sadly, his father's no longer around, Joe. But NASA's mum used to prepare loads of samosas for the Essex dressing room before play in the morning.
Bit chilli and garlic.
We used to hoover them up. We did. Mac Dixon on his way in bowl, short of a length, forced into the leg side with a big bottom hand. It's fielded by Matt Coles, but he parries it to straighter of Tom Westley. They do take the single, and the score moves on to 239.
What was so special, about the Chennai one? I'm curious, because I've never been to Chennai, so I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
It's had a special allure about them.
And that Chennai test match was straight after the cyclone.
Oh, yes,
And I remember arriving at the airport from wherever I did. I think it was, I flew down from, where did I fly down from? Rajasthan.
Jaipur.
It was Jaipur. And I remember the destruction when we arrived. And I remember the drive. We went 2 or 3 hours down to a place called Malalapulam, which was splendid, but still devastated. Dixon in bowls, and this is outside off stump through to the keeper. Good shape, but not really inconveniencing the batsman. Through to the keeper, dot ball.
You've seen a fair few sights there, Don.
I do enjoy travelling. I'm very lucky to do a bit of travelling. I shall be in with a group in Sri Lanka this winter, and potentially the West Indies
And they go
after
out there
Christmas.
and they go out there and play a few games against.
No,
England,
I take England supporters to watch.
Excellent. Awesome.
Yeah, so, and I do enjoy travel, but I enjoy scratching beneath the surface.
Lovely. Yeah, that's what it's about. Yeah,
it
immersing yourself a little bit in the locals. Yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it. Dixon in bowls, fairly pitched up, played with a full face of the bat, soft hands, defending, 239 for 5. I think, being an old cricketer, you're very lucky. One, you've played the game. Two, I've been very lucky to travel throughout when I was a young cricketer, when I played the game, I spent 9 winters abroad, all over the world. Places like Zimbabwe, where I was their head coach. South Africa, I've been to Australia and New Zealand. But I feel very fortunate, and I think we are very fortunate. It's important to not forget that. As this ball was left by Kartik through to the keeper, Pepper, dot ball. Yeah, lots of us cricketers go abroad in the winter as we did. Because it was pretty, I suppose, we didn't have a guarantee of work in the winter. Maybe it gave your body a rest. Sometimes cricketers of the 1970s, 80s, 90s, after a long, hard season, might go away for a bit of sun on the back and do a bit of coaching. Maybe playing and testing their body wasn't order of the day. Maybe they had a very busy season, so they just needed to rest outside off stump again, left through to the keeper, dot ball. So, if you didn't have a very busy season in England, maybe you did need to bowl a few overs, have some serious cricket. Different today, I think. Cricketers today are 12-month-a-year cricketers.
They're sort of professional contracts, aren't they?
Well, it's really interesting, yeah. A couple of the counties went on pre-season in late January and February. It's great that they do that, but if you're going to play serious cricket and immerse yourself in, say, West Indies domestic games, like Hampshire and Kent did, suddenly your season for a young bowler becomes 8 months long. And I don't necessarily agree with that, because we're seeing lots and lots of people having stress fractures. We're seeing lots of people, 2 Essex boys have had two each serious operations in the last year.
Beard and Quinn, you mentioned.
Beard and Quinn. Yeah. Listen, I'm just worried. In the older days, cricketers used to have a winter off. Okay, maybe a little bit of sun under the but you're monitored much more. I think today, if your bowling speeds are down, or you don't hit the keeper's gloves, this time it is pull water bowls down the leg side through to the keeper. That would have been a wide-in white ball, but not today. And I think there's pressure. If your bowling pace is down, you've got speed guns, people look on you and say, okay, you didn't hit the gloves today. What's wrong with you? You've got a niggle. Whereas 20, 30 years ago, you knew you didn't hit the gloves well today, but somebody else in the team would look after you. And you go, you'll be all right tomorrow. Come on, rest up, I'll bowl you overs. So I think there's an opportunity where the cricket's very different. Yesteryear, you weren't monitored about your pace. Today, if Anderson or Broad aren't doing something, then there's an issue. And they will say, hey, your pace is down. What's wrong? So I think it's very different for bowlers today.
And that is a real challenge as well, because you guys are men, not machines. And to expect them to produce that level of pace and ferocity.
Water in. A little bit down the leg side, tickled round the corner. Kartik will pick up a single as Matt Dixon runs in to pick up the ball at fine leg, 1 run.
It's not a joke, and the mechanical mechanisms of a bowler, as you would know, you'll explain better than me. You're not simply an athlete where, maybe in other sports, you're running a lot of, you're exerting certain muscles, whereas in cricket, your back, your neck, your shoulders, the force and the impact on your ankles, on your joints, it's quite different to what some other sports are.
Bowling, can't describe it anything else but brutal.
Brutal, yeah.
Brutal on your body. As Waters on his way in, he bowls. This is driven into the leg side, whipped by Rahul, but there is no run. There's 3 men saving the single. It's sort of squarish mid-wicket and mid-on.
Do you worry for bowlers in a few years' time as they finish cricket and how their body will cope?
These boys today are finely tuned race animals.
Yes, yeah, they're thoroughbreds,
who are athletes first, cricketers second. Going back to my era, the 70s, the 80s and the 90s, they were probably cricketers first, and if we had time to go to the gym, because we had an amazing playing schedule, then you would. Driven out to backward point, where that's going to be 4, I believe. Yes, it is 4. It's driven square of the wicket. Typically, Indians and Pakistanis and Sri Lankans play so well through backward point. They are beautiful executors of the ball through that area. 4 more runs. Little fall from water. Score moves to 240 for 5.
Yeah, I think you're right. I spoke to Angus Fraser once, and he said that he would be playing for England, then playing a county game, and then doing all sorts of journeys in the back of, getting into a car, driving from here to there to everywhere. It was just a different generation, wasn't it?
Well, bowled outside off stump, just hints, comes back through from water, through to the keeper. It's a dot ball. It's 244 for 5. I shall leave you in the capable hands, and welcome back Chetan Narula.
Yeah, just to finish off on Don's point, but Angus Fraser said to me that, being a cricketer first and foremost, the sort of mechanics of your health and fitness, that was secondary back then. You'd be bowling, all day in a 4-day game, playing a test match, then getting back on the road, playing another county cricket game, and jumping in your car and, having the opportunity to even rest or loosen up your muscles. That was never really given a second thought. So sports science very much has changed in so many ways over the last few years, as Don was alluding to there. So let's get our focus on the game for the time being. 244 for 5. India, KL Rahul looking exquisite, as he usually does when he's in good touch. He's 54. It's taken him 84 deliveries to get there. Dinesh Karthik has motored along, 45 of 46, and the experience of Dinesh Karthik very much needed for the Indians, as Chetan Narula joins me now, and for the first time it's good to say that Chetan and I are doing some ball-by-ball commentary together, because we usually speak on the Asian Network when he comes on the programme I present, and gives me his excellent views of Indian cricket, and today we get to discuss all things India and Essex today, as the ball comes in and it's a gorgeous shot, all off the back foot, all class, all elegance, just rocking back and just flailing it almost through like a West Indian Gordon Greenidge type shot. That was beautifully struck off the bowling of Dixon, and Dinesh Karthik motoring along nicely, as Chetan joins me now. Chetan, how's it going today, my friend?
Absolutely, finally, we are calling together, aren't we?
Enjoying it. Enjoy this.
Always thought about doing this. Dinesh Karthik has been in tremendous form since March, I would say, when he started playing again for India, that T20.
A knock against Bangladesh.
Yeah, his star is on the rise, just on the rise and up on the rise. And India will be happy if he scores these runs in the Test series.
Dixon comes in again, Matt Dixon, and the ball just squirts over onto the onside, no run. India 248 for 5. I want to ask you about Karthik in a second, because it's interesting. When they last won the series over here in 2007, he was the highest run scorer, wasn't he? And that was as an opener.
Yes, he has opened in England a couple of times, which actually, earlier in this, in the second session, I was discussing about the various permutations that we could have, and we know the Indian team management loves their permutations and combinations in team selection, so you never know what might happen. They already have 3 openers, possibly a 4th.
Yeah. Matt Dixon comes in again to Karthik. Let's just go outside the off stump. I mean, in the last series against South Africa, they had Vijay, Rahul, Dhawan, and then even Parthiv Patel opened in one of the games as well. So, I mean, could you see something similar where Karthik might even have a shout?
Possibly, but then again, you're saying that India are on their back foot and probably trailing in the series, have a couple of injuries, which would be a bit of a nightmare scenario, really. I think ahead of a series, you want to be a bit positive.
Yeah.
Yes, the top order hasn't played well today, but there will be a second innings. Maybe they get some runs.
Yeah.
And again, you want to feel a bit positive ahead of a new series.
Dixon comes in, and that's an excellent delivery. He's just beaten on the outside edge, and it's just taken a little flick. It's gone through for 4. Is that going to be buys by the keeper? No, it's been given as run, so maybe just light inside edge, feathered through for 4. To talk about Rahul, do you think he's batted himself into a strong position today?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. He's just mirrored the form that he's shown in the IPL earlier in the summer for Kings 11 Punjab. Apart from that, though, he had that bit of a down curve in the limited overs. I thought he shouldn't have been dropped for the third ODI, but right now, if there's a batsman you won't drop on form and in terms of talent and what he could give it to you,
exactly.
this is the guy. Yes, KL Rahul, absolutely.
Dixon comes in again. I think the previous ball went for buys in the end. As he comes into Karthik, there's someone leg stump, and that's just an easy gimme for an Indian batsman in any type of conditions. Just off his leg stump, flick down to the deep square leg, and that is his 50. An excellent innings from Dinesh Karthik. Again, this will do his confidence all sorts of positivity. 53 or 51 deliveries only, and India now on to 256 for 5, Chetan.
Absolutely. Just a gimme ball. Dixon has been working up good pace, moving the ball, especially in this spell. Troubled Rahul a couple of times, but this was a gimme ball, really. Just drifting down leg and helped along. Again, Indian batsmen don't miss deliveries like that.
I want to talk about Karthik with you in a second.
Yeah.
There's something I read a few months ago about this new fitness regime and how he ended up moving to Mumbai for some time, spending some time on a friend of his in his couch and stuff. We'll talk about that in a second. I was just talking about that with Don, but Matt Dixon comes in and bowls to Karthik. He really wafts at this one and goes through to the goal, through to the wicket keeper. They didn't really move his feet to that one. It was a bit of a casual flail as the over ends, and India finish that one on 256 for 5. That thing about what Karthik did, he really has rededicated himself back to cricket, hasn't he?
Yes, and probably he needed to, because he was lost to the wilderness. You would just think that, okay, 10 years ago we had Dinesh Karthik, and lost for a good reason, because cricketers like MS Dhoni don't come along every day, do they? But then, when MS Dhoni took a step back from international cricket, and I'm talking about his retirement in Australia, you would think that there was, again, a vacuum which needed to be filled. And India have such a hectic schedule now. There's no boundary between home and away test series. So you want somebody experienced, you want somebody who knows what it takes, really. Vriddhiman Saha has done really well. Parthiv Patel has also shown really glimpses of it. I'm really hopeful about Dinesh Karthik just stepping into those shoes. He has that experience. He has those runs to back it up.
Now Water back into the attack now as the ball goes past the outside edge, left arm over the wicket. Karthik, would you say, in terms of just as an all-round batsman, in terms of the way he can attack, defend, accumulate, play in a variety of formats, he's probably the best player to have on form? If you had all three of them playing to the best of their abilities, Karthik the best batsman out of the three?
Three would be?
Vriddhiman Saha, Parthiv Patel and himself?
Yes, maybe. Let's just say yes, maybe. I would stick out my neck. I'll come back to that.
Yeah, Water in again, left arm over into Rahu, just flicks onto the leg side. No run there. India's still at 256 for 5.
Somebody like Saha, he's an excellent keeper to the spinners. In Sri Lanka, he just showed his complete range of, if I can say, wicket-keeping skills, acrobatic catches and everything. Really anticipating, because when you're keeping to Ashwin and Jadeja, you really need to anticipate really well. And he did that in Sri Lanka, which was an important tour for India. They won 3-0. It was first time winning the series so comprehensively.
Water comes in again. Left arm over the wicket to KL Rahul. This time on leg stump, and he flicks this one down to fine leg, and that ball has gone for 4 as well. So KL Rahul again, ball on his leg stump, and you're asking for trouble.
At the moment, Indian batsmen just helping along the balls, just down to the boundary.
Yeah, just lost the disciplines a bit, I think.
Every time you spray it, and they've just been helping the deliveries along. So Parthiv Patel is a very versatile keeper batsman. He can bat, again, like opener. Again, England were touring India, and there were injuries. Again, he opened and he scored a half century, and in the win at Mohali, if I'm not wrong. So again, he's a very versatile keeper batsman, very handy, and again experienced.
Water in again. This time a bad delivery outside off stump as Rahul just lets that one go through.
Saha has been first choice for a long time, and in South Africa, you just felt that perhaps in those conditions against a very good 4-pronged pace attack, and really South Africa's pace attack looked really well in January. So at that time, you just felt that Saha maybe missed something in his batting. And looking at Dinesh Karthik, the way he's been batting with so much confidence, he's like a batsman renewed.
Yeah, Water in again to Rahul, this time down the leg side, and let go through to the keeper. It's a half-hearted appeal from Wesley. It's slip, I think, but nothing more than that, and no run there. But
so, at the moment, yes, again, if you just want me to stick out my neck, not on the window, but on this call, yes, DK, for sure.
Tell a few of us a little bit in a second about Rishabh Pant as well. I've been extolling his virtues earlier, saying, this guy, he can score runs in first-class cricket. He has a triple hundred to his name. The guy can blitz the ball around like he showed in the IPL. We'll touch on him in just a second as Water comes in again, left arm over. That's a really wide delivery. In white ball cricket, that would have been a wide any day of the week, but the umpire feeling generous in these heated conditions. 260 for 5 at the end of that over. KL Rahul unbeaten on 58. And Dinesh Karthik has just moved to his half century. He's on 53. But Rishabh Pant, how exciting is he? And also, just talk about the fact that there are players behind him who are coming through, like Vishen Kishan. There are some
Sanju Samson,
wicketkeeper batsmen who are exciting and could don the gloves, or who could just be playing as batsmen in their own right in the future.
And both of them have worked with Rahul Dravid, who's the India A coach, or just let's just say the junior, under 19 India A, just the junior coach for India, and all of them are singing his praises. And more than praises, it's just working with somebody like Rahul Dravid. Imagine working at 19 years of age, you're learning from somebody like Rahul Dravid. How much impact that can have on your career. Rishabh Pant again has worked with him too, but he's a standout player really. Just recently, Dravid was talking about is he's had some success for the India A team on this tour of England. They've been playing England and West Indies in different formats of the game. Pant has done well, which has earned him a call up in the Test squad. Even if I expect Dinesh Karthik to play ahead of him, but again, he's one for the future. Everybody is talking about him back home. The thing is, when you score so many runs, there's so much anticipation built up. Last IPL perhaps got too much for him because he had scored runs easily in domestic cricket. This IPL, he was a standout for Delhi Daredevils, even if again the team didn't do well. And the thing is, again, when in every selection meeting you're discussed at such a ripe age, you know that you're one for the future. And again, it's a case of India nourishing Pant really well.
Arnija comes into the attack again, left arm round the wicket as that's been plodded onto the offside with Dinesh Karthik. Just welcome back to our listeners on 5 Live Sports Extra after the Tour de France. Thank you very much for joining us. You join us as in India batting here against Essex in sweltering conditions here in Chelmsford. 260 for 5. KL Rahul unbeaten on 58. Dinesh Karthik on 53 earlier. Virat Kohli made 68 in an entertaining knock, and Murali Vijay also passed 50. But there's been joy for the Essex bowlers as well today, as we'll allude to that in a second, as Aaron Nija comes around the wicket as well, just plodded into the offside by KL Rahul. No run there, and we'll run you through the scorecard in a few moments' time. I'm joined alongside Chetan Narula here summarising. We've just been extolling the virtues of Indian wicketkeeper batsman as Nija comes into bowl. Well, left arm round the wicket, and Rahul comes down the wicket, and he's looped this one right high up in the air. It's going to be taken, and it is taken, and Aaron Nija takes the first wicket of this innings, and KL Rahul is the man to go. But a useful knock from him. He's made 58, and that means that India are now, Chetan, are on 261 for 6.
Just didn't get enough bat on it, or
just didn't get to the pitch of the ball.
Yeah, just didn't get to the pitch of the ball, and probably mishit and misjudged it a bit there, KL Rahul. It's not a long boundary. If he had hit it properly, would have landed behind us. Yeah, probably behind us even. So, yeah, Rahul probably would be disappointed with that shot, but he's had a good workout in the middle, and India will be happy with the way he's batted.
Ravi Ashwin is the next man heading out to the crease.
Finally, because the scorecard shows his name, because it starts with A, so they show his name at the fall of every wicket. But this time he's, yeah. Let me just say, yeah.
So it looks like Hardik Pandya, actually.
No, it's not Ashwin now that I look at it. Yeah, it's Hardik Pandya.
Yeah, it's like Hardik Pandya.
Just slimmer and fitter.
Yeah, with the collar upturn, that's what
collar upturn, yes, that's actually
as soon as I saw the collar upturn, I was like, that's not Ashwin. Yeah, we'll just briefly we'll finish off on the wicketkeeper batsman point for a second, and like you say, I mean, working with Rahul Dravid, what an exciting time that is. I got to speak to him last week at an event, and he was just saying that, you know what he does with his coaching now? He doesn't really work on their technique, just talks about the psychology of the game a lot more, and just helps their mind mature, because he says that these guys have all the gifts, all the skills. It's just about fine-tuning elements of it, and if you can do that, then you've got, cricketers who are ready to go, effectively.
And interesting you say that, because I had the opportunity to talk to Dravid when he became the mentor for Rajasthan Royals initially. And we're talking about a few years ago, when the likes of Sanju Samson and Karun Nair were just coming onto the scene for Rajasthan Royals. And again, he said the same thing. And more importantly, those youngsters he nurtured at Rajasthan Royals also said the same thing, that, he's not telling us about our techniques. he is somebody who will tell you how to face the batsman, how to face the situation, how to just play the situation really. And I think as a coach, that's something that is really commendable. Even if, imagine you are a 19-year-old and you're talking to Rahul Dravid and he tells you something about your technique and everything, you just say, oh, my technique is wrong because Rahul Dravid is saying that.
Yeah.
So
you prefer them to figure it out themselves in a way.
Absolutely. I think let them work it out and just seek help.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we're just having a bit of a drinks break at the moment, as India just lost that wicket. Hardik Pandya is just shadowing a few shots in the middle, and Dinesh Karthik taking a swig of a drink. He's still there unbeaten on 54. India 261 for 6 now on a day which is very similar to Indian conditions, and even Chetan is sweating next to me.
Oh, we're all sweating. We're all sweating. and just talking about just extending that, and there's an interesting story that Sanjay Samson told me when I was interviewing him a couple of years ago. And he told me about his first trial for Rajasthan Royals, almost 19 years old, about to turn 19 years old. He's gone to the nets trying to figure out if he can play in the IPL. And all of a sudden there is Shane Warne and there is Rahul Dravid. They're both around. And he's like, oh, he's trying, Dravid is standing there watching him bat. And he's like, oh, words aren't coming out of my mouth. And what to say to Rahul Dravid. So it was like that, and he was quite nervy when first talking to Rahul Dravid. So you just get the scale of his presence, really. Right, the drinks break looks over, and we have a change in calling.
Thanks, Chetan. Stefan Schemmelt here with you for the next 20 minutes or so. In the glorious Chelmsford sunshine, India 261 for 6. If you're just joining us on 5 Live Sports Extra after the cycling, India won the toss earlier on today. They were reduced to 5 for 2. Shikhar Dhawan and Cheteshwar Pujara going within the first 3 overs of the day. That became 44 for 3. Some suspect slip catching from Essex rather, may have made that position even worse. But then Virat Kohli changed the tempo with 68. Murali Vijay, in partnership with his captain, 53. They both went to the left-arm seam of Paul Walter. And then the attack was picked up by KL Rahul, who's just gone for 58. Dinesh Karthik remains on 54. And he's been joined by Hardik Pandya, who's yet to face a ball. It's the left-arm spin of Aaron Niger into Karthik, who almost just pops the ball up to where short leg would have been. There's no short leg fielder. The wicket-keeper was interested briefly. If you don't know the details of this game, it was supposed to be first class 11 versus 11, 4 days. On India's request, it was reduced to 3 days. They are playing all 18 members of their side as Niger is in once more. It's a big drive from Karthik, not gathered by wicketkeeper Michael Pepper. Yeah, all 18 members of India's squad are involved. Only 11 can bat or field at any one time. Essex have 13 players at their disposal. As Niger, left arm around the wicket, floaty. Karthik just pushes the ball into the offside. Score remains 261 for 6. That is the end of the over, a successful one for Niger. He removed KL Rahul, who was caught in the deep on the offside by Matt Dixon for 58. He has 1 wicket to his name today, the left-arm spinner. And just to finish on that point, the fact that India are fielding all 18 members of their side means that their batting is much deeper than it would usually be. Hardik Pandya coming in at number 8. And maybe next week in the Test series he'll be batting as high as number 6. There's an hour's play remaining, not a first-class match, so it doesn't look like we have to get through a certain number of overs. The players can wander off at 6 o'clock if the umpires so choose. So there's an hour's cricket left in glorious conditions in Chelmsford. And at the end of that hour, we'll disappear for a small amount of time, but then at 6:45, you'll hear commentary on the Kia Super League. Southern Vipers against the Loughborough Lightning. Henry Moran and Alison Mitchell bringing you that coverage at 6:45. So Paul Walter, who has 2 wickets to his name from his 12 overs, is going to be running in towards us from the Hayes close end. Hardik Pandya, yet to face a ball, faces now. It's a lovely drive from Pandya, shot of a man who's come straight from the nets, up to mid-off, and there's no run. And Cheaton's still here.
Yes, for 1 more over. Then I have to go back and write my report.
Is this... Will India be reasonably pleased with what's happened today? Disappointed with the performance of the top order, but happy with what's followed?
Yes, I think they will be reasonably happy. That's the apt way to put it, especially runs from Vijay, who spent time at the crease, Virat and Rahul, and Dinesh Karthik.
Paul Walter, left arm over, 2 slips, Panja clips aerially for 4. That would have been taken by a square leg fielder at head height, but there was no man there, and Panja is away with a boundary, 265 for 6.
The umpire tried. The umpire almost tried.
And immediately it necessitates a change in the field. It looks like that Essex have removed their cover fielder and are going to employ a mid-wicket. In fact, second slip is going to plug the gap at cover. So we have a mid-off, a cover, a point, a slip, mid-on, mid-wicket, square leg, and a long leg. Walter pumps his arms towards us once more, and Panja defends around the front pad. The elongated India batting lineup has certainly confused the scoreboard operator, who I think has had R. Ashwin coming in.
Yes.
Numbers like ever since.
Yeah, number 3, number 4, number 5. Every time a wicket fell, so it was Ashwin walking in for him. But even Ankur just got confused before we spotted Hardik Pandya walking out.
Maybe Ashwin is just the first name alphabetically that they scroll through.
Yeah. That's a reasonable explanation.
Walter in and bowled. That's outside the off stump, taken by Michael Pepper. Pepper has kept wicket for Essex in the final 2 sessions of today. This morning it was James Foster, the veteran. He's not daft, James Foster. He knew what he was doing. He kept for 1 session, took 3 catches, and then thought, you know what, it's a bit warm for me for the rest of the day. I'll go and put my feet up.
Yeah, I haven't seen him dive like in the first session after that. But yes, again, returning to the point, usually they would have liked to be no debate at all with Dhawan scoring runs, Pujara scoring runs. But yes, Rahul has given them food for thought.
Karthik waits for Walter. He drops the ball, a short ball, literally no more than 1 pitch away from where he was taking strike, and they hurry through for a Wandale style single. 267 for 6. That is the end of Paul Walter's over. Karthik has 55 and Hardik Pandya has 5.
But at the same time, there has to be an explanation for why Ajinkya Rahane came out to bat so high up, because he's batted at number 3 on a few occasions. I remember a green top in Sri Lanka. Not technically a green top, but it was a pacey wicket, really.
As green as you get in Sri Lanka.
As green as you get in Sri Lanka. He got 100 in the second innings there. Pujara was not in the plans then. And he's also got a green top 100 in 2014 at Lords, which helped India win a test match there. So he can do that at number 3, although the Lords was not at number 3, that was number 5. But again, that was an interesting move this morning. Color of the sweatband is different.